Each year, over 100 million animals die per human product on animal testing. To put that in perspective, Michigan Stadium can fit 109,901 people. So if you got one person to sit in every single seat in Michigan Stadium for each animal that has died a year to the animal testing, you could fill the stadium 909 times. Think about that for a second. So now that we know how many are affected by it, just what is animal testing? Animal testing is basically companies and scientists, cancer researchers, they will test their products on animals to see if they are safe for the humans. So the animals are like their guinea pigs. They don't care about their lives sometimes. When did it start? It started with early Greek scientists, going back to Aristotle, and just kind of evolved since then. There are different methods to it, whether they do chemical things or with cosmetics, whatever the case may be, but they can all harm the animals. It's not always humane. So this is a quote from Dr. Richard Clauser. He was the former director of the U.S. Cancer Institute. He said, "The history of cancer research has been the history of curing cancer in the mouse. We have cured mice of cancer for decades, and it simply didn't work in human beings." So even if you can cure an animal of said disease, or the product does work on them, it may not work for the humans, and it may still be poisonous to them. So what's the point of killing millions and millions of animals when it's not even going to work? Animals are much, much, much different than humans, and just because it works in one, it may not work in the other. According to PETA.org, 92% of experimental drugs that are safe and effective in animals fail in human clinical trials because they don't work or are dangerous. 92%. So if you have something that's 92% of the time not going to work, why do you still use it? The animals are a lot different than the humans, and they do feel pain. And unlike us, they cannot just say, "Ow, that hurts, can you please stop?" A lot of the time during the testing, they do not numb or put the animals to sleep, so they feel all of the pain that we would as the chemicals are released into their body and doing whatever they may be doing. So how can stopping animal testing help? By donating to whatever place, or even just joining and speaking your word, helping the companies, it can make more of a appeal to stop the animal testing. If we stop buying from places that test on the animals, or if we stop helping them out, they may eventually stop, which could help. Now, some things that may not hurt as bad, most of the animals, they can't do like an exact number because not all animals testing are recorded, but most of the animals, about 90% they said, according to PETA.org, was mice. And mice are an animal that are not usually used by a lot of people or cared for, and there are a lot of them. So losing an animal to them, like mice, that doesn't really matter as much to people is a positive of it. But they also use animals like cats or dogs or other animals that we love as our pets. So benefits of stopping animal testing. Less animals would be dying to inhumane ways. If you go deer hunting, a lot of people say, well, if you shoot a deer, it's still going to die, so what's the difference between shooting a deer and testing the animals? When you shoot a deer, go hunting, one, it's more humane. There's different seasons. There's bow season, rifle season, like just doe, whatever the case may be. So they have it more organized, and it's easier to choose, easier to be more humane, I guess. When you do it, there's a record of how many are killed, and they do put a limit on how many you can do. So it's not killing millions and millions each year. The deer also, let's say if you shoot a deer, most of the time you shoot it and it's quickly going to die. It's not going to feel the agonizing pain. It's not going to be having chemicals tearing apart parts of its body and making it burn and other things. If you would like to look at the handout I gave you all, to put in perspective, that is Michigan Stadium, the stadium you could fill 109 times with each person for an animal. And then there's also a website on there if you would like to sign up and pledge to never participate in animal cruelty. in review, not always of animal testing are humane, and a lot of them do hurt the animal. Also, a lot of the testing that they do does not actually help the humans or doesn't work. So what's the point of killing millions and millions of animals if it's not going to help in the end? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Darren. Okay, whoops. All right, let's go ahead and ask him our questions if you have any.
So what if you test out a dog product on a dog?
Well, if you're testing a product for an animal, then I think it's okay. But a lot of the time when they're testing products for humans, and a human body is a lot different than a dog body, and so it's not going to be the same when you're matching it up. Christoph.
So how does different? That's a stupid question. So mice DNA is I think it was 93% the same as human DNA along those lines. Why would that be not the best option for testing things instead of killing humans over mice?
It does make sense, and they do use mice a lot because they are very similar to humans. But a lot of the time, like the Dr. Klausner had said, they can cure the mice of cancer, but they can't cure the humans. And so while it does help with some things, with a lot of things it does not. And so why do it if it's not going to help? Howard?
So what should we test instead of using animals?
A lot of it, so there are companies that don't test animals at all and make, like for cosmetics, there are plenty of companies that do their hair and their makeup with other things that, like just kind of making them together, and then they have human products, but they're a lot safer than animals, and so no one usually dies from it. Usually.
What kind of products are they using on these animals that's killing them?
A lot of it can be either hair, like cosmetics, like hair, makeup stuff that they just have better reactions to, or with cancer treatments, a lot of it could be chemical things that kind of like radioactive materials that tear away parts of the animal's bodies.
All right, let's go ahead and give him a round of applause. Thank you so much, Darren.